Hello everyone, I welcome you all in the second part of our 1000 most expected question series. So those of you are preparing for CUET-PG 2026 English Literature exam, do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel to get to know all these questions and answers. And in this session, we will basically discuss about who are the important authors of Elizabethan period like William Shakespeare, Edmund Spenser, Philip Sidney, and what are the important works they have written in their time period. So please watch this video till the end to get to know all these. And without further delay, let's begin the session. The first question of today's session is, in which year did Spanish Armada happen? We all know Spanish Armada is the most important event in Elizabethan time period, and the Spanish Armada happened because when King Philip II of Spain proposed Queen Elizabeth, she rejected him. And after the rejection, King Philip II attacked the England with his fleet, but due to the shipwreck in the sea and his fleets are lost in the sea. And this way Queen Elizabeth won the Spanish Armada, and after the Spanish Armada Queen Elizabeth came to power, and the glorious time period started after the war, and the Spanish Armada happened in the year 1588. The second question is, the play within the play nine worthies occur in which Shakespearean play? We all know different Shakespearean play adapted different play within the play motifs, and the nine worthies play within the play appears in Love Never Lost, and it is William Shakespeare Hamlet, in which play the play of Murder of Gonzago play within the play appeared in this work. And the third question is, Montagues and Capulets are families appears in which work of William Shakespeare? Montagues and Capulets are two warring families in one of the most important work of William Shakespeare, and the work is Romeo and Juliet. In Romeo and Juliet, the two warring families are Montague and Capulet, and Romeo and Juliet belongs from these two families. And the fourth question is, what are the important dark comedies of Shakespeare? We all know William Shakespeare wrote three important dark comedies, which is also known as problem plays, and these plays are Well's Death Ends Well, Measure for Measure, and Troilus and Cressida. And these are the three important Shakespearean problem plays or dark comedies. After this, the fifth question is, who wrote the work Shakespearean tragedy? In the modern time, there are different authors who wrote different critical work on William Shakespeare, and the work Shakespearean tragedy was written by the modernist critic A.C. Bradley. A.C. Bradley wrote the work Shakespearean tragedy. The sixth question is, who gave a happy ending of William Shakespeare King Lear? We all know William Shakespeare King Lear ended with tragic scene of the death of Cordelia in her father's hand, but in later time period there is one author who gave a happy ending of this tragic play, and it was Nahum Tate. Nahum Tate gave a happy ending of William Shakespeare's later adaptation of King Lear. And the seventh question is, what are the two important long poems of William Shakespeare? Behind 37 plays and 154 sonnets, William Shakespeare also wrote two long poems, and these long poems are Venus and Adonis and the Rape of Lucrece. These are the two important long poems which have been written by William Shakespeare with his 37 plays and 154 sonnets. And the eighth question is, who wrote the work A View of the Present State of Ireland? After his first visit to Ireland, the Elizabethan author who wrote a work on a view of the present state of Ireland, and the author is Edmund Spenser. Edmund Spenser wrote this work, A View of the Present State of Ireland, after his first visit to Ireland. And the ninth question is Edmund Spenser Fairy Queen is divided into how many parts? Edmund Spenser's Fairy Queen, which is written in the year 1590, and this work is divided into 6 parts, and these parts are holiness, chastity, temperance, friendship, justice, and courtesy, as represented by 6 different characters in this work. And the 10th question is Sweet Thames run softly till I end my song. Sweet Thames run softly till I end my song is a line which occurs from which work of Edmund Spenser. This line occurs in one of the most important poem is Prothalamion. Prothalamion is a poem which is published in the year 1896, and Edmund Spenser wrote the 2 nuptial songs or marriage poems, Epithalamion and Prothalamion. And his later poem Prothalamion, this line appears, which is Sweet Thames run softly till I end my song. And the 11th question is who was the biographer of Philip Sidney? We all know Philip Sidney, who is known as the ideal Renaissance man who lived in the first period of Queen Elizabethan time period, and his biographer was Fulke Greville. Fulke Greville was the future biographer of Sir Philip Sidney, and he was also his lifelong friend. And the 12th question is Philip Sidney's Arcadia is dedicated to Sir Philip Sidney's most important works is Arcadia, and this work is dedicated to his sister Mary Herbert. Mary Herbert was the sister of Sir Philip Sidney, and she is also known as the Countess of Pembroke. And the 13th question is what was the first sonnet sequence in England? We all know in Elizabethan time period there were many sonnet sequences which was written by different Elizabethan authors, and the first sonnet sequence of England was Astrophel and Stella. Astrophel and Stella was the first sonnet sequence in England, which is published in the year 1591 by Sir Philip Sidney, and this work is contained 108 sonnets and 11 songs. And there are many authors who wrote other sonnet sequences like Edmund Spenser, Amoretti, Samuel Daniels, Diana, Giles Fletcher, Lecia. And the next 14th question is Apology for Poetry or Defense of Poetry was written by. Apology for Poetry and Defense or Defense of Poetry is the first defense of poetry work which is written by the ideal Renaissance man Sir Philip Sidney, and this work is published in the year 1595. And the 15th question is who wrote the work School of Abuse? The School of Abuse, which is a work which is dedicated to Sir Philip Sidney. It is also written in defense of poetry, defense of Sidney, and this work is written by Stephen Gusson. Stephen Gusson wrote this work School of Abuse in the year 1579. And the 16th question is Ocean to Cynthia is dedicated to. Ocean to Cynthia is one of the most important poems of Elizabethan time period, which is written by Sir Walter Raleigh, and this poem is dedicated to Queen Elizabeth I of England. And the 17th question is the Art of English Poesy was written by. The Art of English Poesy, which deals with different forms and different types of poetry. This work is written by the author George Puttenham. George Puttenham wrote the work The Art of English Poesy, 1589. And the 18th question is the Shepherd Calendar is dedicated to. The Shepherd Calendar, which is a work by the Elizabethan author Edmund Spenser, and this work is dedicated to the ideal Renaissance man Sir Philip Sidney. After the death of Sir Philip Sidney, Edmund Spenser wrote this work and dedicated to him. The 19th question is Elizabethan World Picture is a work by modernist time. There are different authors, different critics who wrote different works on Elizabethan themes, characters, different social issues, and this work Elizabethan World Picture is written by E.M.W. Tilliard. E.M.W. Tilliard was a modernist critic and he wrote the Elizabethan World Picture and he presented different characters, different issues of Elizabethan time period in his work. The 20th question is who called Shakespeare dark comedies as problem plays? We already read that Shakespeare wrote 3 problem plays and dark comedies. Who said that Shakespeare dark comedies as problem plays? And it is said by F.S. Bose, the Shakespearean critic, who called Shakespearean dark comedies as problem plays. The 21st question, Thomas Lodge's Rosalind is the source for which work of William Shakespeare? Thomas Lodge's Rosalind, which becomes the source of one of the most important works of William Shakespeare, and the work is As You Like It. The source of As You Like It is from Thomas Lodge's Rosalind. And the 22nd question is what is the subtitle of Twelfth Night? We all know in Twelfth Night there was a shipwreck, and because of the shipwreck Viola and his twin brother Sebastian was separated and they came to an island Illyria, and in this island they explored their new life. And what you will is the subtitle of Shakespeare Twelfth Night. Hath not a Jew eyes is a speech by Hath not is a Jew is one of the most famous speech of Shakespeare, one of the most important plays, and this speech is said by Shylock. Shylock is said this speech hath not a Jew eyes, and this speech is spoken in the work The Merchant of Venice. 24th question, Une Temte is a Shakespearean adaptation of Tempest by which author? In the modern time period, there are various film directors, various authors who adapted different works of Shakespeare, and Une Temte is an adaptation of Shakespeare's Tempest, and it is adapted by the author Amy Caesar. There are other important authors like Welcome Sumi, who wrote Uma Beta, and Margaret Atwood, who wrote Exit on William Shakespeare's Tempest. The 25th or last question is which is the Apollyon written by William Shakespeare? We all know Apollyon is a little epic or little poem. William Shakespeare also wrote an Apollyon or a little epic, and the work is Venus and Adonis. Venus and Adonis is the Apollyon or little epic of William Shakespeare. And these are the questions of our second most expected 1000 question series. So those of you are preparing for CUET-PG 2026 English Literature exam and UGC NET JRF English Literature exam, do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel to get to know all the videos and study materials. Thank you everyone. Thank you for watching this video.